What is going on, Yankee fans? It is New York Sports Up here, and I am back at it with another New York Yankees post-series recap. And in this video, we're going to recap the series between the New York Yankees and the Seattle Mariners, a 4-game set at Yankee Stadium in which the Yankees won 3 games to 1. We're going to break down the series. We'll talk about Anthony Rizzo, Luis Chapman, the Yankees' pitiful offense, the Yankees' starting pitching in this video. But before I get into the series, please drop a like on the video and hit that big red subscribe button so you do not miss any of my Yankees, Giants, or Knicks videos. And speaking of the Knicks, I will have that Knicks video on the channel. I apologize, I could not get it out to you guys a few nights ago. I've been very busy lately, so I didn't have the time to do it. But I will have that Knicks video on the channel coming out sometime this week. I don't know which day, but it will be coming out sometime this week. I'm going to break down the Knicks offseason and the moves that they've made, bringing in Fournier and Kemba Walker, talk about the Knicks re-signing of Julius Randle, Derrick Rose, Alec Burks, and Nerlens Noel. I'll talk about those moves in a future video about the Knicks. Make sure to stay tuned for that. If you are a Knicks fan, make sure to stay tuned for that. But in this video, we're talking about the Yankees, and the Yankees just won a series against a pretty solid Seattle Mariners team. They won 3 out of 4 in this series this weekend. This was a very exciting series. The Yankees showed a lot of fight, man. The Yankees showed a lot of fight, and this might have been their best series of the season. Probably outside of that White Sox series back in late May. This might have been their best series of the season. They played really, really well, and we're going to break it down. Now, let's talk about the Yankees opener against the Mariners. This was the first game of the series, and getting the start in this game was Nestor Cortes Jr., his first start in a little bit, and I thought Nestor Cortes did well. He did what he had to do. He went 5 innings, gave up 2 runs on 5 hits, 3 walks, and had 2 strikeouts. He wasn't perfect. He didn't have his best stuff, but at the end of this game, his ERA was still 2.15. He's been great for this team. Again, didn't have his best stuff, but gave us a chance to win. He kept us in it, and that's really all we can ask out of Nestor Cortes. He did his job. He did a really good job in this game. And then Chad Green came in, struggled a little bit, went 2 innings, gave up 1 run on 2 hits, had 2 strikeouts, though. He gave up that home run to Jarred Kelenic, but again, short porch homer, nothing you can really do about it. Zach Britton went an inning. He gave up no runs, 2 hits. Of course, he had to give up 2 hits, because that's just Zach Britton nowadays, but he still got a double play, which was good to see. And then Chapman got the save, his 23rd of the year. He got the save, gave up no runs, 1 hit, and walked a batter and struck out a batter. So Chapman really didn't have it in that game, but luckily the offense had their back. Let's talk about it. So, we go to the bottom of the second. We had second and third, nobody out. The Yankees need to score this inning, and they do. Gleyber Torres hits a sacrifice fly off of Tyler Anderson, and the Yankees are up 1-0. Good start. We go to the top of the third. Haniger ties it up with a sac fly of his own. He ties the game, and it's 1-1 going into the bottom of the third. We go to the top of the fourth. Kyle Seager hits a solo shot to make it a 2-1 Seattle lead. This was the first of many homers Seager hit in the series, and then the score was now 2-1. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Higashioka grounds out, but Gallo comes around to score, makes it a 2-2 game. That was Gallo's. I think that was his second hit of the night. He got 1 more hit, which was huge, but Higashioka ties it up on a ground out. We'll take it. Game's tied at 2. We go to the top of the seventh. Jarred Kelenic hits the short porch solo shot, probably about like 330 feet, and made it a 3-2 Mariners lead. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Paul Sewald, former Met, is in the game for the Mariners. He gets the first 2 guys out. Judge, I think, was behind 0-2. He comes back to make it a full count and gets a base hit to left. I thought that was huge. Then, Giancarlo Stanton singles to right field. We have first and third, 2 out, with newcomer Joey Gallo at the plate, who is still looking for his first Yankee home run. I'm pretty sure I already talked about this in my Yankees-Orioles post-game recap, or post-series recap. In that, I think I talked about this home run in that video. But Joey Gallo comes up to the plate with a 1-0 count. First and third, 2 out. Paul Sewald on the mound. And he lifts it way up, travels, and just reaches the seats. A 3-run shot for Joey Gallo, and the Yankees are up 5-3. His signature Yankee moment was right there. He's been really struggling as a Yankee so far. This was easily his biggest hit as a Yankee. And it was his first home run as a Yankee, so no better time to do it. Hits a 3-run shot, and the Yankees ended up winning the game 5-3, as I said. Zach Britton kind of struggled in the 8th inning, but again, got a double play because that's Britton's specialty. And then in the 9th, Chapman really, really struggled, but I think the injury had something to do with it. Murphy grounded out. Then Kelenic walked, threw a wild pitch. He struck out Raleigh, and then Crawford hit an infield single, so first and third, 2 out, and Mitch Haniger, with a 3-1 count, hits a high drive. I thought the ball was gone when he hit it, but it was just in front of the warning track. Gallo makes the catch, and the Yankees win the game 5-3. Again, a solid outing by Cortes. He did his thing. He gave us a chance to win, and then Joey Gallo coming through with a big 3-run bomb, and we played a little small ball. So good job by the Yankees to win the opener. Now, again, this was a few days ago, so I'm not as excited about it as I once was. Now, let's talk about the second game in this series, and this game was, another pretty exciting game for the Yanks. This was a Friday night game, and the offense in this game was atrocious. Until late in the game, the offense was terrible. Marco Gonzalez started for Seattle, went 6 2/3 innings, gave up just 3 hits. He was great. I'll give the guy credit. He was really, really good in this game. But his ERA coming in was 5.13 or something like that. His ERA after the game was 4.73. You got to get more hits off that guy. He's not a good pitcher. His numbers aren't good. You should do more off Marco Gonzalez. They didn't. But they really got to their bullpen. Let's break down the offense first. Let's break down the exciting stuff first. Then we'll talk about the pitching. So top of the sixth rather. The only run Seattle scored in not extra innings was an RBI single by Abraham Toro off Lucas Litke, and that gave Seattle a 1-0 lead. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Diego Castillo cannot throw a strike. He loads the bases. There's nobody out. The Yankees need to take the lead right here. They need to take advantage. Aaron Judge hits a line drive to left field. It looked like it was going to be a hit, but it was caught by Moore. Sac fly, though. We'll take it. Gets the run in. We're tied up at 1, but we wanted more there. Next up, Giancarlo Stanton. He swings at the first pitch, which is ridiculous on its own, and he grounds it to a 6-4-3 double play. Unacceptable. You got to do better than that. Now, I know this is in the past. The Yankees won this game, and he actually got a big hit after that. You got to do better than that. This game should have been over before extra innings even happened. This game should have been over. But we go to extras. Top of the 10th, Crawford singles, brings in Murphy, makes it a 2-1 Mariners lead, but they get out of it only giving up 1 run, so that's huge. We go to the bottom of the 10th. First and second, 2 out. Stanton swings at the first pitch again, but his hit finds grass, brings in Gardner, tie game at 2 apiece. Bottom of the 11th inning. We have, I think Labor pops up to start the inning. Then they intentionally walk Odor, which is a smart move. And then Kyle hit Trashioka. That's his new nickname, Kyle Trashioka, because the guy's trash. I think he strikes out, makes it. There's 2 out, 2 on. I didn't think they were going to score this inning. And that brings up the longest tenured Yankee, Brett Gardner. And for once in his life, he finally gets a hit. And we needed it at the most. He finally gets a hit. He fights off a few pitches. He finally gets a good pitch to hit and lines it up the middle for a game-winning single. Gallo comes around to score, and the Yankees win the game 3-2. This was a much-needed extra innings victory. This is a game that they probably didn't deserve to win, but they found a way to get a victory. And a Yankees team without Rizzo and Gallo would have lost this game, in my opinion. I don't think they would have won this game. But they came up clutch, and they won the game 3-2. Even in a game where they struggled with runners in scoring position, they were awful offensively pretty much all game. They still found a way to win. Oh, and I almost forgot. I almost completely forgot to give a shout-out to the damn bullpen. The bullpen was electric in this game. And you know who started it? Wandy Vision. Wandy Peralta started the game, and he was good. 1 2/3, no runs, 2 hits, 2 strikeouts. I'll take it. For a guy that's probably not going to be in the bullpen next year or throughout the rest of the year, he was good. Then Steven Ridings comes in. You saw, if you watched my last video, you all know how much I really like this kid. He comes in, goes an inning and a third, no runs, no hits, doesn't strike out a guy, which is surprising, but he does a good job putting up a 0 on the board. They bring in Joely Rodriguez. He goes an inning, no runs, 1 hit, does a good job. They bring in Clay Holmes, who has been awesome for this team. He is charged with the run because Litke gave it up, though, so it really wasn't his fault, but he was charged with the run. He went an inning and a third, 1 run, 1 hit, and had a strikeout. So a good job by Holmes either way, but he did struggle a little bit in that inning because he gave up the hit to Haniger, so the run was charged on him. Litke gave up the single to Toro, so it was charged to Holmes, but Litke gave up the hit. He went an inning and a third, no runs, 2 hits, and 2 strikeouts. Good job. And then Loizaga came in. He went an inning and a third. There's a lot of pitchers to talk about. No runs, 2 hits, had 1 walk and 2 strikeouts. Good job, as usual. Zach Britton, best inning of the year for him. That's a step in the right direction for him. He went an inning, no runs, no hits, 1 strikeout. Great job. Chad Green, same thing, good job. He went an inning rather, no runs, 1 hit. Well, he gave up a run, but it was because of the runner at second, which is just stupid. But he gave up the hit to Crawford, whatever. But he still holds them to 1, which is good. And then the unsung hero of this game, in my opinion, was Albert Abreu. He was fantastic. Went an inning, and did not give up a single run. Great job from the kid. Great job. And then Gardner comes through in the bottom of the was it the 10th or the 11th? I think it was the 11th. Yeah, bottom of the 11th. Brett Gardner, game-winning single, and the Yankees win. Huge win to force the split of this series, and good job by Giancarlo to get the hit. As much as I'm not a fan of Giancarlo Stanton at all, if you watch my videos, you can tell I don't like Giancarlo Stanton at all. I think it's a terrible contract, but a good job by him to get the hit there and tie it up. Great stuff. And he bailed out Judge, who was just terrible in this game. Now we talk about yesterday's game. This was Saturday's game, and the Yankees won their 5th straight ball game as they won today's game 5-4, or yesterday's game 5-4. This was a very exciting ball game on both sides of the ball. Andrew Heaney got the start. He was terrible to start the game, but was great to finish, which is good to see. 6 innings, 4 runs, only 4 hits. All 4 were earned, 3 walks, 9 Ks. That 9 Ks is huge because he's never really been much of a strikeout guy. He got 9 strikeouts against a pretty good hitting team in the Mariners. Great job by Heaney. Started off slow, but you got to give Heaney credit. He bounced back and did what he had to do, was giving us a chance to win, and that's what he did. Clay Holmes was awesome in his inning in the 3rd. No runs, no hits, struck out 3. His sinker is nasty, by the way. That is one of the best pitches I've ever seen from a pitcher. It's filthy. And it's obvious the Yankees really liked the stuff in this guy, and that's for good reason. He's been great. Now, I'm not a fan of giving up Hoyt Park, but still, the Yankees really liked him. They traded for him, and he's been fantastic. He's been a key piece to this bullpen. Joely Rodriguez came in a high-leverage situation and got 2 outs, which is all we needed. No runs, 1 hit, had a strikeout. Good job. And then Loizaga came in, Johnny Lasagna came in and got his 4th save of the year with Chapman now on the IL with elbow inflammation. I think, was it arm inflammation? I think it was elbow inflammation. Loizaga came in. He's going to be our closer for a little bit. Got the save, and the Yankees win the game 5-4. Now let's break down the offense. And it was an interesting game for the offense. Chris Flexen, another former Met, on the mound, and he pitched really well in this game. You know, top of the 1st, we're down 2-0. Bottom of the 1st inning, the Yankees respond with a solo shot as Aaron Judge hits an absolute bomb into the bleachers, makes it a 2-1 game. We're back in it. We go well, we were never out of it, but you know what I mean. Top of the 2nd, Abraham Toro walks, run comes in to score. It's 3-1. He's looking terrible. We thought this game would just be a stinker. You know, it looked like it was heading that way. Then Haniger hits a sac fly, just missed a grand slam, made it a 4-1 game. Then Heaney settled down, and the offense went to work. Bottom of the 6th, Yankees get a leadoff single from Stanton, which I thought was huge. Flexen's still in there. Odor steps up to the plate. Hits a ball that I thought was going to go foul, and it kind of just goes right into that around that 315 feet sign, or 318, whatever it is. The sign where it says how much feet the home run is. Out in right field, it just clears the wall. A 2-run shot for Odor, which is one of the weirdest home runs I've ever seen in my life. Yankee Stadium's a lot of balls that are flyouts in most ballparks can be home runs at Yankee Stadium. He hits a 2-run shot for Odor, absolutely crushed it, and the Yankees are now behind a run. It's 4-3, and the Mariner fans were heated on Twitter because they hate Yankee Stadium apparently. Then Gleyber Torres, it's a fly ball down the right field line. He pinch hits for I think it was Tyler Wade. Fly ball down the right field line. Haniger looks like he's going to catch it. I don't know if he lost it in the sun or something or tripped, but he falls down. He misses it, and he gets to 3rd. We'll take it. I'm not going to complain about that. It was a horrible play by Haniger, but I'm not complaining. Then, Kyle Higashioka, for once in his life, got a hit. Double, ground rule double, tied the game up at 4. Great stuff. 1st and 3rd, 1 out as DJ LeMahieu hits a single to right, but the run does not score. Anthony Rizzo grounded to a double play, but DJ LeMahieu was in between. He was in a rundown. He was in between 2nd and 1st base. He was kind of just waiting there. He was just waiting there, and he was kind of bouncing around so they could tag him, because he was playing around with them because he stalled so the run could score. Just a terrible play by the Mariners infield, and the Yankees are up 5-4, and that is the way. That was the final score. Yankees won the game 5-4. The bullpen was fantastic. Clay Holmes was great. Loizaga was really good. Joely Rodriguez did a good job, and Andrew Heaney, rough start, but he settled down and did his job. So good job by the Yankees in this game. They won this game 5-4. They won the series, and they improved to a season-high 12 games over 500. They were killing it. Game 4 kind of let me down a bit. They lost the game, and okay, I can accept losing. But when you lose in the fashion that they did today, really pissed me off. And there's another thing that really upsets me too, which we'll talk about after this game. But it was a 2-0 final score. The 2 runs they scored were in the 8th inning. Seager with a ground rule double, and Cal Raleigh with an RBI single. Litke didn't have it, obviously, but not a good move by Boone. I don't know why Litke was in this game in the first place. He's not really a reliable reliever, in my opinion. I thought Chad Green should have been in there, or Zach Britton, you know. I don't really know why Lucas Litke was in this game, in my opinion. I didn't really think it made sense in the first place. Litke didn't have it. He was bailed out by his defense. You know, he couldn't find a strike zone. The umpire helped him out, too. He wasn't good. Another problem, another reason why they didn't win this game, the frickin' offense. There's always that one game in every series where the Yankees really tick you off. And this was that game. They did not score a single run. They lost 2-0. They didn't score a run. They had 6 hits. They left, I think, 10 men on base. Terrible. When you're signing Rizzo and Gallo, 2 really good hitters, and your offense is still struggling, I think we have to fire Marcus Thames. Now, I know the Yankees have been playing good baseball, but still. The offense hasn't scored more than, 6 runs per game? They've been winning because of the pitching and clutch hits, late in the game. They've been getting to their bullpen most of the time. They haven't really been hitting their starters. The offense should be better than this. Marcus Thames might be the reason why they're struggling. Now, maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's Marcus Thames. I think he should be fired. If the Yankees don't win anything this year, I think Marcus Thames should be gone. I've said this in multiple videos. I don't want Marcus Thames their hitting coach anymore. I don't. The Yankees continue to struggle. They get shut out quite a lot, which is not good for a team that has a really good lineup on paper. I don't think Marcus Thames should be here. I think he should be fired tomorrow. I don't want him on the team anymore, or be the hitting coach for the Yankees. I really don't. But frustrating loss. This was today's game. Very frustrating loss. But you give credit to Kikuchi, second rider, Paul Sewald. They all pitched really well in this game. They have really good stuff. I don't know what the Mariners did with Paul Sewald. He was terrible for the Mets. He was never really good for them. He was kind of like a bullpen guy that never really had much of a huge role for the Mets. And he goes to Seattle. He's been filthy for them. I think his ERA is 2.68. His slider is really good. I guess the Mariners just fixed him. I don't know. But sometimes that just happens with pitchers. But tough loss. 2-0 loss. Judge. What was he doing? I mean, that final strike call. It was right down the middle. It was a breaking ball right down the middle. A pitch he could have hit. He did it earlier on in the series. He did it in the previous game against Chris Flexen. He just looked at it. He didn't even swing. You got to do better than that. And DJ LeMahieu, too. I mean, if the shift is wide open, what's the point of grounding out to them? Just bunt, the Yankees did not play good baseball in this game. They did not, and they lost 2-0. But they took 3 of 4 from Seattle. They're a good team. They're not a pushover at all. That's a good thing. But I really want the offense to be better. So I think Marcus Thames should be fired. But let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments below. And now let's talk about the negatives that came out of the series. The first negative was the offense, which I already addressed. Second negative, Rizzo Chapman on the IL with elbow inflammation. It's not serious, thankfully, but he'll be out for a little bit. But I do trust Loizaga as our closer. So that's out of the way. Second thing, or the last thing, Anthony Rizzo, COVID IL. And when I found out this news, I was just really depressed. Because we need him. We need his lefty bat presence in this lineup. He's going to be out for 10 days. We cannot catch a frickin' break, man. We cannot catch a break. I didn't want to talk about this because it's depressing, but we just can't catch a break with COVID tests. Now, I know Sanchez will be back eventually. He'll be back in a few days. Urshela is going to be back on Wednesday, but still, we play better when Rizzo is in the lineup. Now he's going to be out for a while. You got to be kidding me with this crap. You got to be kidding. It's absolutely ridiculous. I'm not going to talk about it anymore because it's depressing, but I just had to get that. I just had to get that out of the way because it's going to suck not having. It's going to suck to not have Rizzo in the lineup for for about 8 to 10 days or whatever, how long it is. That's going to suck. But we got to find a way to keep winning. Luckily, we play a really bad team next series, a 3-game set in Kansas City against the Kansas City Royals. They're not a good team at all, and they have little to no pitching. Now with Duffy on the Dodgers, they have no pitching at all. We should smack around this team. I don't care how many players are out. The Yankees need to beat this team up. And then after you beat up the Royals, you got to try to find a way to win that series against the White Sox. That's going to be tough because they just swept the Cubs in pretty easy fashion. That's going to be a tough series. So if you want to, have some ground before we get to that very tough White Sox series, you got to sweep the Royals. I want no less than a sweep. I'll be okay with 2 out of 3, but I want to sweep. Royals are bad. Yankees should beat up on this team, all right, guys? So that is going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys very soon. Yankees edition for the series recap against the Royals. 3-game set at Kauffman Stadium. Jamison Tyone gets the ball in Game 1. Looks to continue to pitch well, going up against Carlos Hernandez. Game 2 is Daniel Lynch. I think it's Daniel Lynch. Is it James Lynch? I think it's James Lynch. It's Daniel Lynch. Okay, it is Daniel. Daniel Lynch on the mound. Game 2 going up against Nestor Cortes. And then Game 3, the Yankees do not have a starter. It's TBD. I'm assuming it's probably going to be maybe a bullpen day, or maybe Cole or Montgomery come back. I don't know. But Game 3 is TBD, and they'll be going up against Brady Singer. So Singer's ERA is not great either. Singer's at 5.13. Lynch is at 6. And then Hernandez is at 4.58. They're not good pitchers. Got to get to those guys, all right, guys? So that is going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you guys sometime this week for my for my Knicks video, talking about the offseason and talking about the moves that they've made recently, all right, guys? So that is going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace. Go Yankees.